Welcome to episode 3 of Mental Health for Me, series 5. Let's grab another coffee, shall we? Yes, in case you're asking, this is the same coffee as last time because I'm filming in one go to get it all out there and then edit it and upload it for September or October time. That's why I'm wearing the same clothes, the same cup of coffee. No, we got joking. No, it is the same, yeah. So today I'm going to talk about therapy and how it started and how it is at the moment. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, just mainly the basics, really. Therapy, or counselling, as they call it, I don't know, whatever you call it, that's the same thing, really. Many years ago, well, 5 years ago at least, it's way before lockdowns. Wow, God, that was only seems years ago. That was, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it was years ago, but it seems decades ago. But therapy, counselling, I did start it about 6 years ago, roughly 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, and it started off, and I couldn't get into it. Didn't seem to work. So I spent a few months out of it. And I went to try it again, and a different approach, which is still working today, still seeing today. It's mainly mind tools, giving you the mind tools to help when things happen. So, as I've said in the past, when I was made homeless, when I was evicted, my depression was really, really bad. It felt like I was trapped down a well, and I couldn't get out. I couldn't find a way out, and I blocked everyone away. I shut myself away. I didn't answer phone calls. I just didn't want to exist, kind of thing. I didn't felt suicidal. Sorry, I said that. Trigger warning. I didn't feel that that way. But I know a lot of people do. But there is help out there. I shouldn't have said that, should I? No. Let's go back to therapy. About 5 years ago, I started again with therapy, and it was just the mind tools I was learning. This is a different approach than before. The mind tools, the ones that, how can I say, when I was made homeless, my depression was so bad. Felt like I was trapped down a well, a deep well, and I couldn't get out of it. I didn't look for help or advice or anything like that because it didn't exist in my mind. It was just, that's it. Everything was so numb and disorientated. And of course I was evicted, blah, blah, blah. But now it feels like I'm running through a corridor with doors, which doors do open. It's a case of running and just finding the nearest door to open it, and I can escape it. So it's gone from a deep well I can't get out of to a corridor. Yeah, I can do, but I've got to choose which door. Different coloured doors, with different moods and stuff. Which makes it easier for anxiety because I know I can get out of it. I know I can get away from it. I know I can get out. But what therapy taught me was, if you feel like you're down in the well and you use the mind tool to create a tree, to create a ladder, to actually help you out the well. And I know it sounds loopy and strange, but if you've gone through therapy, you know what I mean. So just imagine you've got a tree there. The roots are the negative stuff, the top part is all the positive words and stuff, but the branches are so positive, and there's a branch that can delve down into the well and you can grab hold of it and lift yourself out of it. It's a positive branch, It's just getting the mindset to grab that branch and lift yourself out. Talking now, it sounds loopy, but a lot of practice, and it does work. It can, if you let it work. Not for everyone, trust me. if you do feel like that, you need to see a therapist or a GP. You know, don't just take my word for it. So yeah, so that's how it all started with the therapy and stuff. It took a long time for that to kick in. I had to really concentrate. Now it's automatic. Now that, you know, it's the tree's gone, it's at corridor now. Corridor's the one that, you know. But it's just repeating the same process. When you're going through anxiety, when you're going through that kind of thing. 3 days, 3 nights without sleep is now about an hour, maybe. Then I'm okay. Yeah, maybe a couple of hours, you know. But therapy is not the easiest. There's times when I walked into the therapy and I didn't want to be there, but walked out as happy as anything, knowing, wow, that's great, it's fantastic. So it's just pushing yourself and knowing that it does help. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but it worked for me. But you need to want it to work. The one bonus is that every time I go through therapy, I'm learning new things about myself. I'm actually doing things automatically, helping me without realizing, which is just phenomenal. I'm so proud of myself. And every time I chat to her, it's like, do you realize that you've done it automatically without thinking? Wow, you know, it's, you know, the biggest thing which I've sussed out in my life, in my mind, is that I found it hard to show emotions. I found it hard to understand emotions. There are things like emotional wheels, which, you know, is a sad, angry, a lot. It's got different, every time you go deeper in the circle, there's different words for the different meanings. And you just look at that and you think, you know, you say like, okay, I'm feeling sad today. Why are you feeling sad? Well, that one there. And it gives you, and then you know what the emotion is. And the emotional wheel is one of the biggest things that's helped me, you know, knowing and understanding how you're feeling is a big part of helping, you know. It's like someone lending a hand, giving you a hand, you know. It's like, these are things you can't think of when you're going through anxiety. You blank out most of reality, and you just, as I said before, curl up into a little ball. But these little tools, these little things, information you can look at, read, or just studying, and it gives you the way out of it by looking, studying, and just seeing this wheel, seeing how you're feeling, and then in deep down, and then it gives it a meaning, and it gives it like, okay, I understand that now. You know, next time it happens, I'll understand it more. And that's how it's been. And okay, therapy only works if you want it to. You know, you have to want it to, but you have to do stuff yourself. You can't just rely on all a therapist can do is give you advice and maybe try this, maybe try that, blah 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 blah. But you've got to do it yourself. You've got to actually go there and do it. You know, it's one of the craziest but wonderful thing to do, is to look back on how you were and how you are now, and the differences. It's just phenomenal. You're just thinking, wow, I was like that. I'm now seeing people how I used to be when I had anxiety problems, and it's like, wow, I was like that. Wow, you know, you've seen it from a different perspective. It's like, geez, you know, and it's trying to get them to get help. And it's like, it says, when you're going through that anxiety, depression, if someone comes up to you tries to explain to you, and say they've been there, you don't listen. How could I approach someone who's going through what I used to go through and make them listen? It's almost impossible. The only thing I think you can do is I'm only going by my experiences, is to educate yourself. If you've got friends who are your friends, maybe they could study it and understand the mental health and stuff, and then they could point you into the direction of websites or therapists or something, and then you have to do the rest. If the way I see it, right, I know I'm confusing everyone. The way I see it is, if I could be the person that could have helped me in 2007, I'll be happy. That's the way I want. I want to be the person who could have helped me. Who could have guided me, helped me. That is a whole aim of this mental health stuff I'm trying to do. It's not saying, into if I could help one person, I've done my job. But I want to help more than one person. You know what I mean? I want to help more than one person. But I just feel that more people should talk about this kind of stuff. More people should be open about it. Gone are the days where you're grown up going, you have to be number one, you have to do this, don't cry, this kind of stuff. Those days are gone. I mean, there's still people there believing that, but those days are gone. We are, we're human beings, Everything's getting a bit too woke at the moment, isn't it? Too woke. But I'm not going to go down that route. This is about mental health, not wokeness, not wokeness. Yeah. But I just say, research, check websites out, NHS, see your GP, if you can afford it, get a therapist, just do what you can. If it's not for you, for your friends or your family, you know what I mean? Be there for each other, because they'll look back and go, wow, thank you. It might take a few years. It's not going to be overnight. I'm still going through therapy. I'm still learning new things. I've got a long way to go still. But from there was 5 years ago to now, yeah, even though I get good days and bad days, I'm proud of who I am, what I am, and what I've overcome. I'm not looking forward to the future hurdles and triggers, but I'm able to face it and know that I can face it, know that I can knock it on the head and, give it some grief, you know what I mean? Yeah, how dare you interfere my life, This is my life, get away. Okay, peeps. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, I've got a podcast series. Well, the podcast itself, it's not the series, it's ongoing. Mental health diaries on most of the podcast providers. The link will be below. I would like to do interviews with people in the field of mental health, or people who've got suffering mental health, or just want to chat. I can do it on the podcast, do it for the interview through the phone, for the podcast. You don't have to have high-tech equipment, just a phone. And yeah, and as always, give it a subscribe, give it a like, a notification bell will notify you when I upload. And next week, yeah, I'll be back next week. Well, next week for you, but 2 minutes for me. Okay, peeps. I should see every time when you watch the episode, the time. You can tell by the time. I started this at 8:30. So it's 9:20 now. Episode 3. So it's mad, innit? Okay, peeps. I'll see you next week.